Hey everyone, Mark Major here at the Action Figuratorium. Some of you know that I'm a real big toy collector. I'm also a marketing guy who runs a studio here in Milwaukee, Oregon. And I like to do these marketing analysis videos where I break down some of the campaigns of toys and toy lines and toy stores, and today is going to be one of those. I have been tracking the release of 1/12 action figure vehicles now for about a year, and we have another vehicle being released soon for consumption. This one is from Valaverse. This is a modern military vehicle, I should say, in the 1/12 scale. And so I think that this is going to be pretty interesting to take a look and compare to the other vehicles that we've seen released in the last 6-7 months or so. So you guys should stick around. Okay, before I begin and go down memory lane, does anyone here remember the phrase "get some"? Are any of you old enough in which you remember people used to say "get some"? I suggest that we should try to bring this phrase back. It's much better than some of these other little marketing jingoisms out there like "got milk" or "just do it." I think if we try to squeeze in saying "get some" once per day into a conversation, we're all going to be a lot better off. So let's begin with a bit of recap for those of you that haven't followed some of my previous videos. Back sometime last year, around October or so, it was closing. HasLab, remember those guys? They came out with this for $350. It's a crowd-funded 1/12 Dodge Charger that came with a Marvel Legends figure, basically just a generic black humanoid with a flamey skull. Kind of cool. $350. It did not fund. People did not go for it. Now, as a result of this toy being proposed to the people for $350, everybody suddenly became an expert on car toys. People were bringing out the idea that you can get similar car toys in a similar scale for less than $350. They pointed out some by McFarlane. They pointed out some Fast and Furious toys made by Jada. They pointed out some model kits. They pointed out some remote control cars. Everybody all of a sudden was jumping on this "we can have vehicles for action figures" kind of trend. And this is also when people started discovering that there are Bratz cars out there, which for about $35 used, sometimes can scratch that itch as well, if that's all this $350 car was an inch. Okay, so not long after this closed, or right around the time of this ending, a couple of toy designers who go by the name Odd Frog Entertainment, they came out with this Kickstarter to do essentially kind of the same car, sort of a 1970s Dodge Charger black muscle car, and they were asking a mere $185. Now, this didn't fund. It should be noted that these guys originally made this design for another party who was going to release it. I believe he was called 1/12 Garage, and he did not go to market with their design, nor did he compensate them, so Odd Frog decided to release it themselves versus a Kickstarter, and now they're actually trying to self-crowd fund it through their own website. I believe they're still asking $185. Okay, let's move on. There was then, not long after, this from Ramen Toy. This guy, I believe, is, I don't know exactly how many people are in Ramen Toy, but the face of Ramen Toy is this guy named Ace. And Ace is this dude who lives in, I think it's Singapore, and he's totally buff. He's totally jacked. This guy is, he must be some kind of like have great genes or a workout king, but every time you see this dude, he looks amazing, and so do his toys. He's kind of like the McFarlane of indie toys. He's always pumping something out, and it's always a lot cheaper than everybody else and always looks great. Now, a lot of the toys he does, I would say, are state-of-the-art bootlegs. They're reissues of classic toys that the original IP owners are not going to put out. So he fills the void. And he took it upon himself as a challenge when he saw that the HasLab didn't fund at $350 to see if he could do essentially the same car for cheaper, which he has. Now, he went to market with this 1/12 vehicle called the Ramen Racer, and he is charging $250, but he has an opening pre-order get-in early bird special of $175. That's $10 less than the next guy's Odd Frog Entertainment. And now the price is back up to $200, still not $250, but he's still accepting pre-orders, except you can't get it for $175. You got to pay $200 now for it. Okay, so this gives us a couple of ideas as to what 1/12 vehicles are going for. I have made videos where I cover both of those cars and the HasLab car, and I've also talked about the possibility of making a type of a vanilla flavored vehicle, and you just buy different upgrade kits to make it unique and individual. Like you buy a black car if you want to make it Mad Max, you buy the Mad Max kit. If you want to make it the General E, you buy the General E kit, that kind of thing. That was what I recommended, and so now we have a new entry into the 1/12 scale vehicles, and this comes from Valaverse, which is a company started by and run by Bobby Vala. He is an ex-Hasbro dude. He served his time in the trenches. They gave him the boot. It's well known that he was fired as part of a round of layoffs. However, he didn't take it to sadness. He took it as a challenge, and he rebounded and has built his own company, and they are now kicking ass. And that is exactly what this dog here is. This is the man himself. This is him presenting his vehicle at Joe Fest, which just recently happened. This is called the Vanguard. This is some type of a modern military vehicle, like a urban assault Suburban, I guess you would call it. It is essentially this, and if you get to see what exactly it's going to come with, it's the vehicle. You get like a little control arm with a machine gun. He gives you a character that goes with it. It's got like a turret. There's a muzzle flash, and there's some jerry cans named after the Germans of World War II, i.e. the Jerry's and the jerry cans. And so now here he's talking about pricing. He's saying it's not going to be $300, it's not going to be $200, it's going to be $175 to $190. Now, what you need to know about that is, as a consumer, you see $175. As a guy who's going to sell it, he sees $190. So we don't actually know what the price is going to be. But here I'm going to make my first prediction, right? Because I have seen that there are fans for the Valaverse, which, by the way, to give you a heads up of what Valaverse is, it's kind of like the Pepsi to G.I. Joe's Coke, okay? If you can't get one, you get the other, that kind of thing. That's what I always say. For every Coke, there's a Pepsi. And he's offering a sort of a alternative to G.I. Joe classifieds in the 1/12 6-inch line of modern military figures. He's going for something a lot less cartoonish than what the G.I. Joes are doing. Remember, G.I. Joe in the classifieds line is basically taking all the little 3.75 and guys and reissuing them as larger scale dudes, and it's a way to nostalgically rehash and yet kind of make something new. And so this Vanguard vehicle is going to be perfect for guys doing either G.I. Joe or Valaverse. I think it's going to be a success. I think it's going to be a big success. So here's what I'm going to predict for this thing, okay? I'm going to say that he's going to open pre-orders at $175 for this, right? And you're going to get like a 1 week or a 2 week window to get it for $175. Everyone who wants it $175 has got to get in at that. After that point, it's probably going to go up. It's probably going to be $200. And then when this thing finally arrives in the States, and it arrives at his store for sale and Big Bad Toy Store and Nerdzoic and places like that, I'm going to say it's probably going to be priced at about $250. Okay, that's the first prediction, is the pricing on this. Okay, here's my second prediction. My second prediction is that this vehicle in the action figure universe is going to be a hit. And he's going to make a second one, and the second one is going to come in olive green, but it's not going to just be a generic repaint. It's going to have some slight mods to it to make it just different enough. I don't know what those mods are going to be. It's going to be some kind of weird military thing where you add Hoover lifters or something. I don't know. It's all kind of weird to me. All I'm saying is that we have a brown one, which is great. Goes with plenty of these like desert rat guys. He's going to make an olive green one. It's going to be slightly different, so it's not going to be one or the other. It's going to be complementary where you're going to want to get both, okay? So that's my basic take on what I think is coming for this vehicle, pricing as well as its success. I think this is going to be a hit. Here is my final sort of say upon these vehicles, these action figure vehicles, and what I think toy companies out there, indie toy companies, should be doing. I think that to sell the most of these, you have to get the price down as much as you can. The lower you get the price, the more of something you can sell. So for something like this, the Valaverse Vanguard, I think that's a cool name, sticking with the alliteration. I think what he needs to do is he needs to strip all that stuff off of it. I think he needs to make the turret go away. I think he needs to make the machine gun go away. I think he doesn't need to include an action figure because he sells action figures. That's his main business. The reason to buy the action figures is because you paid $200 or something for the car. The reason why you got the car is because you buy the action. You don't give the action figures away at the car. That's what I'm saying. Is you sell those separately. It's the point to drive traffic to the figures. You can come out with a special custom figure, one-off figure who's just a driver for the car, and that might be a unique thing that you could buy the guy without having to get the vehicle, that sort of thing. I think you should separate that to get the cost down, right? I think you need to get the cost down as much as you can. You need to get this thing as close as you can to $100 or $150, and then you do nothing but sell kits. Now, he's kind of going that way. He's got this kit that he's going to be selling separate. It won't come with the vehicle. It's not part of the standard offering. It's this kind of rocket launcher kit. There's a similar thing I saw you could get. It was kind of like a weapons kit that he had. I don't know if I can find it on here. I will. But basically the idea is that you can get these, you can get upgrades to your machine, and I think he needs to take the things that are the basic offering, strip them out, drop it another $25, $35, right? And let people buy all these different kits, the rocket launcher kit, the turret kit, the sidearm machine gun kit, the driver. Maybe he's got special hands that grip the wheel. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming dumb stuff to make the thing more attractive to people to buy as an add-on. I think this is all about add-ons. Same thing with what I've said about the all the Dodge Chargers everyone's doing, all the muscle cars. I think you got to get the price really incredibly cheap and just sell add-on kits, even if the add-on kits end up being a little kind of expensive, like $45 or something for a kit. If it does what you want it to do, if it makes your black muscle car a Mad Max vehicle, right? Whatever it takes, the little, chair for the dog, the blower on front, the gas cans in the back, all that crap. If that's what it makes it, people will spend that extra money for that. But to get everybody to buy your vehicle, right? Everybody to buy it, you got to go as cheap as you can get it, and you're just going to have to cut and cut and cut and offer all that stuff as extras. So that is my take on this additional entry into the 1/12 scale of vehicles. Thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video and survived these insane autistic ramblings. But you know that when it comes to marketing, a lot of the stuff I'm saying is definitely ringing true. And if you disagree, put it in the comments. If you think I'm close, put that in the comments, and then we'll have a wager later. Okay, catch everybody on the next one.